Morning sunlight slanted through the ruined tower at the edge of Brackenford, glazing abandoned stone with seasonal warmth and illuminating a sight no tourist pamphlet would ever promise. A 6-meter dragon, in a lace-frilled apron, hunched over a cauldron half his size, muttering about rind density. Third turn to the left, 2 to the right, then a jiggle, grumbled Cinderscale the slightly incendiary. And remember, no scorching below 130 degrees, or the curd panics, he whisked with a twisted oak spoon. Difficult, because claws are not designed for pastry chef finesse, and eyed the milky froth with desperate longing. He adored cheese. He dreamt in cheddar. But one decent mouthful would ignite a digestive cataclysm capable of stripping paint off castle walls. Life, he reflected, is unfair to dragons of refined palate. At the foot of the tower, his only confidant, Periwin Mudshoe the Hedge Witch, rummaged through jars. "I've brewed the lactase elixir again," she called, holding up a bottle the color of envy. One swig should let you nibble a tester crumb without, detonating your lower intestine. Cinderscale's wings sagged in gratitude. "You are a gem among mammals." Yes, she sighed. "But you owe me 2 wheels of the rosemary ash tome." She sniffed. "And maybe fewer scorch marks on my privet hedge next time you sneeze." The dragon lifted the cauldron with kitchen tongs the size of scythes and poured silken curds into a mold carved from granite. A puff of steam whooshed through the tower slit, curling over the countryside like a fragrance advert designed by arsonists. Outside, the village bell tolled tierce. Cinderscale's nostrils flared anxiously. "Opening day," he whispered. "Do you think they'll come?" "Villagers swarm to anything edible," Periwin assured him. "Besides, you've got an actual storefront now." She straightened his frilled apron. "Just remember your disguise." The disguise comprised a voluminous hooded cloak, broad-brimmed straw hat, and 11 spells of mild illusion. From the front, he looked like a tall, barrel-chested merchant with an unfortunate overbite. From the side, he looked like a tall, barrel-chested merchant harboring a suspiciously scaly tail. But Periwin had hedged that with a don't notice the tail charm. In daylight, village folk tended to look wherever the latest gossip pointed, so the odds were decent. Less forgiving were the knights culinary of the Shining Ladle, self-appointed gourmands of the realm. They patrolled fairs, inns, and feasts in polished armor, etched with soup recipes, ensuring culinary purity, and, though no one said it aloud, scouring the countryside for dragons to poke. Their headquarters stood smack in Brackenford's Market Square, inconveniently opposite Cinderscale's new shop. The curdled crescent. Periwin capped the elixir. "Sip only when you must taste," she warned. "If the knights catch a whiff of dragonhide, they'll saute first and ask questions later." Cinderscale gulped. "I'm ready," he lied. They trudged to town, Periwin leading a donkey that pulled a covered cart stacked with cheese wheels. Every cobblestone thudded like a drumline against Cinderscale's nerves. Each clang of blacksmith's hammer resembled a knight drawing steel. But the morning smells, fresh bread, honey cakes, grilling mutton, buoyed his spirits. By the time they reached the square, anticipation had eclipsed fear. Periwin unlatched the shop shutters. Sunbeams splashed across polished shelves lined with wedges. Marigold-flecked Gouda, blackberry-skinned Stilton, blue-veined Brie wrapped in vine leaves. Under the counter glimmered a chilled chest of experimental marvels. Smoked saffron mozzarella, cave-aged pecorino washed in mead, and the pièce de résistance, his lactose-free dragonfire cheddar, whose flavor pirouetted from nutty to sweet and left a faint ember's warmth on the tongue. 10 heartbeats passed, and then 20. The first customer bustled in. Mistress Dropper, a baker famous for crumbling every dietetic resolution within 50 leagues. She peered at the offerings, inhaled sharply and muttered, "Saint Buttercup preserve me." Cinderscale offered her a sample sliver with trembling claw wrapped in a lace napkin. At first bite, her knees buckled. "I must have a wheel," she whispered, eyes shining. "No, two. No, three. And throw in whatever browned my soul just now." Word sprinted through Brackenford. Within minutes, the shop teemed with villagers. Coins clinked, praise flowed. An elderly shepherd declared the Rosemary Ash Tome, a sermon preached by angels through sheep. Even the town bailiff, whose face habitually resembled an irritated turnip, grinned after nibbling the dragonfire cheddar and bought extra for his secret midnight snacks. All was merry until a trumpet blared. 5 knights strode across the threshold, chainmail rustling like disdainful rain. Their tabards were purest white, each emblazoned with a silver ladle. Leading them was Sir Godfrey Allspice, whose mustaches curved so dramatically they required planning permission. "Ho, merchant!" Sir Godfrey boomed. "We investigate reports of new dairy vendors. Declare thy guild credentials." Cinderscale's heart hammered. Denim-sized droplets of sweat pooled beneath his cloak. He bowed. "My lords, I am, Master Cinnabar Scaleson, humble cheesemonger." Periwin, lurking behind a shelf, pressed 2 fingers to her lips to hide laughter. Sir Godfrey sniffed theatrically. A potent aroma, almost elemental. His visor snapped up. "Your ventilation appears suspiciously warm." "Wood-fired curing," Cinderscale replied, voice creaking like an unoiled drawbridge. "Traditional in the mountains. Alpine recipe." "Indeed," drawled another knight, Sir Basil Smugwort, whose nose wrinkled as if auditioning for most judgmental nose in Christendom. He leaned over a wheel, inhaled, and blinked away tears. "Spicy." Sir Godfrey gestured at the queue. "We shall conduct a tasting to judge worthiness. Knights, assemble." A hush fell. The villagers parted, as if parted by scriptural decree. 5 knights removed gauntlets, arranged themselves around the counter, and awaited samples. Periwin hurried over with platters, whispering, "Sip your elixir first." Cinderscale fumbled for the vial inside his sleeve. His claws nearly shattered it. He tipped a discreet swallow down his throat. Cool sweetness slid into his belly like mercy. He breathed out sulfur-tinged relief and carved delicate slices. Sir Godfrey lifted a piece of dragonfire cheddar, studied the tiny ember glow at its core, and bit. Silence. Then his mustaches quivered. "By Saint Gruyère's ghost!" he croaked. That is extraordinary!" Sir Basil tried the blue-veined brie and uttered something impolite under his breath. Sir Tarragon the Unnecessary wept openly. Within minutes, the knight's ostentatious skepticism crumbled like an overaged feta. Yet pride is a stubborn weed. Sir Godfrey cleared his throat. Flavors pass muster. Still, protocol requires inspection of production facilities. We shall call tomorrow at dawn." He narrowed his eyes. "See that nothing untoward is hidden." "Gladly," Cinderscale squeaked, concealing terror. The knights marched out, leaving a trail of conflicting emotions. Villagers resumed purchasing, but the dragon scarcely noticed. Dawn inspection meant his ruined tower. Ruined tower meant dragon paraphernalia impossible to disguise. Scales, talon scratch marks, mountain of half-read culinary scrolls, and a bed of smoldering coals shaped unmistakably like, well, a dragon bed of smoldering coals. Back at the tower that night, Cinderscale paced scorched circles into the flagstones. "I'll be roasted, and not in the good, parmesan crumb-crusted way." Perrywin perched on a stool, flipping grimoires. We could relocate the cauldrons, tidy the library, hide the Emberstone, and drape curtains over the hoard. Knights aren't renowned for keen observation when confronted with doilies. They'll notice the 40-foot ceiling vault charred black, Cinderscale moaned. And the claw-sized teacups. True. Perrywin tapped her lip. Option 2. Misdirection. Stage the most ostentatious cheese demonstration in town square at dawn. Give them free samples. Keep them away from the tower long enough for, something. Something like what? Like the tower accidentally collapsing. She looked sheepish. I know a crumble from a far spell. A mild one. We turn your home into picturesque ruins. Poof! No evidence. The dragon's eyes went wide. But my recipe scrolls! We'll rescue the scrolls first, she promised. It's just stone and burnt rafters. You're a dragon. You can build anew. He mulled it. A pang of nostalgia clawed his gut, but the alternative involved becoming nightly trophy decor. Fine, he sighed. Let's orchestrate theatrical cheese theater. Just before dawn, they ferried cauldrons, churns, and crates into the square, erecting a makeshift booth under colorful bunting. Perrywin scurried back to retrieve the scrolls. Meanwhile, birdsong greeted a horizon bruised purple and gold. The knights arrived in parade formation, led by Sir Godfrey. He halted, perplexed. Master Scaleson, I expected tower inspection. Cinderscale spread his arms. My lords, I feared the steep crumbling stairs might imperil your gleaming armor, so I brought the creamery to you. Observe as I craft a fresh batch of... He improvised from panic. Phoenix ricotta! One did not simply milk a phoenix, but knights seldom read bestiaries. Sir Basil folded his arms. I insist on seeing the origin of your heat source. That flame beneath the cauldron looks awfully spirited. The flame was, in fact, Cinderscale's own breath, disguised as a little red dragon figurine holding a torch. It burbled merrily. Before interrogation could heighten, a distant rumble rolled across the valley. Sir Godfrey turned. On the hill, Cinderscale's tower shivered like jelly. With a dramatic moan, the upper stories folded inward. Stone cascaded. Dust plumed skyward. And the ruins settled into a picturesque silhouette. Villagers gasped. The knights forgot the cauldron. Great grievous gravy, Sir Tarragon exclaimed. Your domicile. Cinderscale bowed his head, genuinely wounded. Alas, years of disrepair. A tragic collapse. Sir Godfrey laid a gauntlet on his shoulder. You have my condolences, Master Cheesemonger. The Order will, of course, assist in clearing debris once we finish breakfast. Breakfast was, conveniently, the piping hot Phoenix ricotta spooned onto crusty bread. Its flavor, smoky citrus with a hint of cinnamon, distracted everyone for critical minutes. Perrywin reappeared, sooty and triumphant. Scroll's satchel slung over one shoulder. She shot Cinderscale a covert thumbs up. The plan had worked, but fate employs twistier spoons than any kitchen drawer. As the knights licked their plates, a breeze whisked through the square, flipping Perrywin's cloak. A rolled parchment tumbled free. Sir Basil, ever nosy, snatched it mid-air. What's this? Thermodynamic applications of nasal fire and dairy pasteurization. Intriguing title. Cinderscale's tail coiled tightly. Perrywin lunged, but Sir Basil unrolled the scroll to reveal sketches, unmistakably depicting a dragon breathing into milk vats. That, Perrywin said quickly, is speculative fiction. Sir Godfrey's eyes narrowed. Speculation, perhaps, on fire-breathing monsters. Everyone knows dragons were banished generations ago. The villagers, overhearing, murmured. Some fidgeted. Mistress Droppa clutched her bag of cheese like a protective talisman. Sir Godfrey studied Cinderscale. Your voice, he said slowly. Does seem somewhat rumbling. And your hat? Why so enormous? Remove it. Cinderscale froze. He felt the burn of hundreds of eyes. He could incinerate the knights, flee, and abandon his dream. Or, radical notion, tell the truth. He inhaled, tasting ash and fear. Then he removed the hat. Gasps erupted. The hood fell back, revealing bronze scales that caught sunrise in 1,000 sparks. Horns curved like ivory swords. Pupil slits glimmered. The crowd retreated instinctively, but no one screamed, perhaps because the dragon looked more mortified than menacing. I am Cinderscale, he said, voice booming across rooftops. Last descendant of the Emberwing flight, lover of dairy, and yes, intolerant of lactose. He winced. Every bite is agony. But I crave creation, not destruction. The shop was my chance to share something beautiful. Sir Godfrey gawked. Sir Basil stuttered. Sir Tarragon looked ready to faint. But before steel left scabbards, Mistress Droppa marched forward, fearless as only bakers can be. Sir Knight, she admonished, this dragon just served the finest cheese our shire has tasted. Are you going to slay the craftsman who delights our tables? Sir Basil opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. Dragons eat people. Cinderscale raised 3 claws. I operate strictly vegetarian, goat's milk notwithstanding, and I have never eaten a person, though I once accidentally swallowed a minstrel's lute during a sneeze. A giggle rippled through the village. The bailiff stepped beside Mistress Droppa. The law protects any citizen contributing to commerce. He eyed the knights, even scaled ones. Sir Godfrey rallied. He deceived us, he protested weakly. But then he glanced at the half-eaten phoenix ricotta and sighed. Still, he does elevate the local gastronomy. A child darted forward. 8-year-old Lottie, freckles like cinnamon on cream. She offered Cinderscale a wildflower. Thank you for the cheese, Mr. Dragon. The dragon's massive hand trembled as he accepted the tiny bloom. Consensus formed, as consensus often does at the intersection of hunger and wonder. Villagers clustered protectively around their cheese benefactor. Knights found themselves outnumbered by aproned grandmothers, wielding rolling pins like flails. Sir Godfrey cleared his throat. Very well, he declared. The Order shall extend provisional guild membership to, Master Cinderscale, provided he adheres to safety regulations and emits no unlicensed infernos within town limits. Relief flooded the square. Cinderscale's wings unfurled in exhilaration, sending startled chickens swirling. Quickly, he refolded them, blush creeping beneath scales. Periwin grinned. Huzzah! Now, perhaps a grand reopening. The Curdled Crescent, home of dragon-crafted artisanal cheese. That evening, the market hosted an impromptu feast. Torches flickered, musicians fiddled jigs, and villagers sampled every wheel in Cinderscale's cart. The dragon, unable to partake, sipped lactis elixir and nibbled crumb-sized shavings to test ripeness, then retired behind the stall to suffer rumbling consequences in private. Periwin passed him soothing herbal tea and a sympathetic pat on the wing. Sir Godfrey, now somewhat tipsy on mead-washed pecorino, sidled over. Master Cinderscale, might you craft a bespoke cheese for the Order? Something bold, something knightly. A challenge I welcome, the dragon said, eyes brightening. How does a truffle-infused manchego, aged in polished helm casks, sound? The knight's mustaches twitched, which, in his language, signified unmitigated ecstasy. Splendid. Weeks rolled into months. Cinderscale rebuilt the tower, not as isolated lair, but as visible creamery, complete with guided tours, tasting room, and a brass plaque reading, "Here ruined dreams were repurposed into deliciousness." The knights, initially wary, became regular patrons. Sir Tarragon even invested in a herd of carefully pampered goats to ensure constant supply. Still, challenges remained. On busy market days, Cinderscale would retreat behind barrels, doubled over with intestinal fireworks, while Periwin ran distraction by demonstrating spoon divination, predicts whether your porridge will clump. Yet the dragon's creations grew ever more imaginative. Lavender Asiago, Saffron Jack, Butterbeer Halloumi. Pilgrims traveled from distant duchies to sample the legendary Dragonfire cheddar, whose warmth lingered like first love. One crisp autumn dusk, Cinderscale perched atop the new creamery's viewing balcony, watching villagers below stroll home with cheese parcels tucked under arms. Periwin joined him, crunching an apple. "You did it," she said simply. "We did," he corrected. "You, me, and an unlikely fellowship of gourmands." She nudged his flank. "How's the stomach?" "Unquiet as a siege tower," he admitted, wincing fondly. "Regrets." He surveyed the village, glowing amber in lantern light. Children chased fireflies near the well. Knights toasted slices of manchego over brazier coals, attempting, with great seriousness, to invent s'mores. The air smelled of smoke, fruit, and promise. "None," he said. "Not even the flatulent bits." Below, Mistress Droppa shouted up, "Master Cinderscale! Tomorrow's harvest fair needs extra Gouda! Don't laze about." The dragon rose to full splendor, wings fanning. "Fear not, dear lady. The ovens." He paused, glanced at Periwin, and both recited in unison, "Shall be carefully regulated for minimal inferno." Laughter billowed between them. He tucked wings, trotted down the tower's spiral ramp, widened at last for knights and bakers and small excited children, and headed for the aging cellars where milk, culture, and a dash of dragonfire waited to become miracles. For a creature born to hoard gold and terror, Cinderscale had discovered treasure far rarer: community, craft, and the delicious truth that sometimes the thing you can't digest is exactly what makes life flavorful, provided you add the right enzymes and a sprinkle of courage.